نحمده تعالى ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن نبينا وحبيبنا محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله ربه بالهدى ودين الحق رحمة للعالمين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. عباد الله، أوصي نفسي وإياكم بتقوى الله العظيم تعالى وطاعته واتباع أمره واجتناب نهيه، كما قال تعالى: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. أما بعد, dear respected brothers and honored sisters in Islam, this khutbah of mine today is about one ayah in the Quran where the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says: إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب. Surely, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and in the alternation of night and day, there are signs for the people of wisdom, or the people of reflection. The people who want to reflect in the creation of the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to glorify their Lord. Brothers and sisters, it's worthy to note that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran directed us to learn about Him, the Creator, the Almighty, through two resources. The first resource is al-masmu'at. That is the ayat of Allah in the Quran and the statements of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam that teach us about the Almighty, our faith about the Almighty, the Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the second resource is the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Listen to this. The Quran is directing us to look and reflect on the creation of Allah, to learn about the Almighty, to build our faith and to increase our faith in the Almighty. And if you think this is the only ayah in the Quran that directs us Muslims and mankind to reflect in the universe and the creation of Allah, to learn about the Almighty, you'll be wrong. About 400 ayat in the Quran are talking about these natural phenomena as signs of the greatness and the wonder of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look, brothers and sisters, one of the major outcomes of the modern science and technology is the huge, deep, specific and accurate amount of information almost about everything. You don't need more than to sit in the computer to read for hours or listen to presentations for hours or watch videos and lectures, presentations for hours to talk about the your eye, for example, how it functions, why the Almighty created two eyes, not one, about the eyelashes, about the tears, of the beauty of the tears, about the nerves inside these eyes, and about the pupil of the eye, about the pressure of the eye. If you move to the blood, the number of the blood cells, what type of different blood cells we have, and the beauty of each. About the brain, the number, the millions of brain cells and their duties, how they function, and so on. You can pick up any faculty, any part of your body, and to read or watch or listen for hours of amazing presentations about the specific way this part was created, about the specific measurement, about the specific duty this part is functioning to achieve. And not only in your body or my body, it's in the body of every single human, not only humans, but animals, but plants, but everything in this universe. Everything was created with the specific measurement for the specific duty. Even the defect, sometimes you notice, has its own purpose, to challenge us, to teach us to look for the cure, to let us, help us realize the significance of this grace and bounty of Allah, and to show even sometimes our weakness as humans. With all this technology and science and doctors and modern tools, and we cannot cure the blindness or the deafness of a newborn baby who was born with this defect. Either way, brothers and sisters, 400 ayat in the Quran, the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, look, the names and attributes of Allah you read in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Alim, Al-Sami', Al-Basir, Al-Hakim, Al-Khabir. You can find these names and attributes in every single creature of the Almighty subhanallah. فَفِي كُلِّ شَيْءٍ لَهُ آيَةٌ تَدُلُّ عَلَى أَنَّهُ الْوَاحِدُ. Let me give you an example. You see outside a car that is of these fancy cars of a few hundred thousands or half million or 1 million, whatever the price is. I don't know the names of these cars, but you think of this car, you research, reflect, and look and walk around this car to see everything, every single thing, big or small, was really put in the right, accurate measurement and place and reflect a beauty to assemble with others to build this beautiful, fancy, luxurious car. For sure, the nature and the way this car was built will give you a good, clear, manifest idea about the manufacturer and about the engineer and about the designer, those who made this car or watch or computer or maybe house. The same. The Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, my names and attributes you see in the Quran, look, if you research anything, any part of my universe, they will point to the same attribute, to the same name of the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala. The perfection we see in this universe reflect the perfection of the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala. The power, strength and might we see in this creation and some of these creatures all reflect and show the might of the Creator Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The wisdom you see in this universe is a manifest evidence of the wisdom of the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala. The guidance, the hidayah you see in these creatures, when you read about especially the science, these little birds and pigeons, how they have in their little brain very advanced and accurate GPS. Wherever you tell them, they know exactly the direction. They know exactly how to go back to their homes. And subhanallah, this will reflect also the guidance of the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The mercy you see between these animals and these humans and the mothers and their babies will reflect the mercy of the Creator Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Actually in the hadith, one day the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was walking with the Sahaba in that confusion, in that confusion of after the battle in that field, a mother lost her little baby. And the mother was panic and looking everywhere for her baby. The moment she found her baby, took that baby and hugged her baby into her breast and started breastfeeding that baby. The Prophet ﷺ picked up the moment and said to the Sahaba, do you think this baby with this mother, with this passion and mercy, will ever throw her baby in the hellfire? They said, no way, O Rasulullah. He said, by Allah, lallah arham bi'ibadihi min hadihi biwaladiha. By Allah, Allah is more merciful to His creatures than this mother to her baby. Brothers and sisters, narrated that one wise farmer had a farm, had a garden, and that garden was blessed with different fruits, vegetables, flowers, different colors, very, very beautiful one. So he wrote at the entrance of that garden, here you are entering the school of faith, the school that teaches you faith and Imam. Yes, brothers and sisters, when you look at the different colors of different plants and different creatures and different abilities and the skills and languages and the skins and the skills and abilities and ideas, for sure, this universe, Al-Quran considers it to be the school of faith. The way the Quran is our book of faith that build our doctrine and faith in Allah, the Quran points to this universe as the school of faith that will build our faith and Iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So brothers and sisters, Dr. Shabib once mentioned that brief dialogue between Sheikh Zandani and one of the top scientists and doctors, when he asked him about, does this human stomach have a purpose? Oh, I said yes, and they started giving details about every part and the duty of that part. The same with the hand, the same with the lung, the same with the brain, the same with the eye, the same, everything subhanAllah has a purpose. And then the Shaykh asked the scientist, how about if we put all these parts together, assemble them to build this human? What is the purpose of this human? That doctor said, no, this is not my field. This is philosophy. The Sheikh said, this is not a philosophy. This is escape. You don't want to face the fact. You swear and you assure me with all the technology and the science that my hands function this way to achieve this purpose. The same with the eye and the ear, the brain, the lung, the liver, the kidney, the leg, etc. If every single part, big or small, weak or strong, put in the right place to fulfill specific duty and to achieve a specific objective and purpose, how come to your mind, how come you accept and believe that when we build all these parts, assemble them together, this is a human, I don't want to think of this a human's purpose and objective in this life. That scientist converted to Islam. So brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us about our purpose. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I created not mankind or jinn, but for a specific purpose, to serve and worship, to glorify the Almighty. And this concept of worship in Islam, it is an active and a life aspect to the point that it's expanded and stretched to cover all the aspects of your life, subhanAllah. It's not only these few minutes or hours when you sit in the masjid waiting for this Imam to finish. No, it is not. It's not when you open the Quran and read, when you stand up and pray. In Islam, the concept of worship is enlarged to cover all the fields and the aspects of the life, subhanAllah. If you are a farmer in your field, or a laborer in your shop, or a teacher in your classroom, or a student, or a scientist in your lab, Wherever you go, with a good intention, with a good purpose, with a good attitude and thought, you are worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By serving yourself, your family, your community, your society, and humanity for the common good, this is a good intention. This makes our lawful action, our even eating and drinking and socializing and sleeping and walking, and even our spousal marital relationship with our spouses as part of our worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet ﷺ mentioned this in the specific hadith loudly and clearly. وَفِي بِضْعِ أَحَدِكُمْ أَجَرْ قَالُوا يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ يأتي أحدنا شهوته ويؤجر ويكون عبادة لله. قال أرأيت لو وضعه في حرام أيكون عليه إثم؟ قالوا نعم. قال كذلك إذا وضعه في حله في الحلال له به أجر حتى اللقمة ترفعها إلى في زوجتك لك فيها أجر من الله سبحانه وتعالى. The Prophet ﷺ even specified with full details, even in your spousal marital relationship, you have, even in that intercourse, you have reward. They said, Oh Rasulullah, one of us will be fulfilling his or her desires. Is this a part of worship can have reward? He said, yes. Do you think if you do that in haram way, wrong way, you will be committing a sin? Yes, they said. The same way. If you do it in the halal, lawful, legal way, to chaste yourself, your spouse, to have good intention, good offspring, that is enough to consider this to be a worship to the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So brothers and sisters, with this, I call myself and call all of you to have new thoughts, to reform our thoughts and our minds from negative to positive, from being narrow to enlarge our horizon and our thought. So don't think, please, of Friday khutbah, Salatul Jum'ah, or Salat al-Eid, or the weekly halaqah when you come. Don't limit this, am I going to hear something new today from the Imam or not? No, don't think of it this way. This is only one thing. Think of it when you come to meet your brothers and sisters in Islam, when you smile in the face of others, this is a charity as Rasulullah said. Think of it when you walk to the masjid, as the Prophet ﷺ said, one step will record a good deed for you, a hasana, the other step toward the masjid will erase a sin from your record. Think of it as long as you are waiting for the salah, you are in the salah, will have the reward of the salah, and the angels of Allah will be saying, Allahumma aghfir lahu, Allahumma arhamhu, O Allah, forgive them, O Allah, have mercy upon them, as long as you are sitting in that masjid, waiting for the salah or for the good call. Whenever you repeat after the muaddin, you have the same reward of the. Think of these many and many good things, subhanallah. When you come and volunteer in the masjid, look, brothers and sisters, I go a lot to the churches, wallah, I'm amazed of the number of volunteer parents and children. Most of the things in the church are handled by volunteers. And we beg you, day and night, for some volunteer to help us. Please, like, make entertainment or educational program, or play with these little boys or kids, elementary school or middle school or high school, etc. And we lack even the interest in this, subhanallah. We need, brothers and sisters, really to refresh ourselves and to refresh our look. One of the best programs I attended in this masjid, there was about 100 of these little kids with their parents downstairs in the meeting room for 2-3 hours, eating popcorn and watching a movie, the message. Hanging in the environment of the masjid, the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, brothers and sisters, when you come to the masjid, if you think of yourself, you are going to visit the palace of the king, I'm sure your feeling will be different. Look, visiting the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has more significance than visiting any palace or any house or any restaurant or any coffee shop. Whether Mimi or Rashkafi or whatever, where we spend hours smiling and laughing. When we come in the masjid, we cannot wait 20 minutes, we need to text, we need to read the newspaper. Sometimes we play with here or there, just waiting for this Imam to finish. Brothers and sisters, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he explained to us in the hadith that كلما غدا إلى المسجد أو راح أعد الله له نزلا في الجنة كلما غدا أو راح. Whenever you come to the masjid and go back, the Prophet ﷺ said, you are visiting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the guest of Allah. Allah will prepare like a banquet for you. It's not a banquet of coffee and creamer and food, seafood or Mediterranean food or American food, whatever. It is a banquet of blessings, reward, tranquility, peace, okay, and harmony. We need to feel this, and we need to really reform our thoughts and our brain to this wide horizon of benefits and goodness. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to benefit us. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله. الحمد لله ثم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا. Brothers and sisters, my khutbah today was about one ayah in the Quran. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب, where the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directs us to reflect and learn about the greatness of the Almighty by reading our book of faith, the Quran, and by exploring, looking at, reflecting at our school of faith, that is the universe, that is the field of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us all among those who have their pure and strong faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ألم عباد الله أن الله أمركم بأمر بدأ فيه بنفسه وثنى بملائكة قدسه فقال عز وجل قال إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. لبيك اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت وسلمت وباركت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الحاضرين والغائبين الأحياء والميتين. اللهم اغفر لحاضرنا وغائبنا حينا وميتنا صغيرنا وكبيرنا ذكرنا وأنثانا يا رب العالمين. اللهم دبر لنا فإنا لا نحسن التدبير. اللهم دبر للمسلمين وبلاد المسلمين فإنا لا نحسن التدبير يا رب العالمين. اللهم أبرم لهذه الأمة إبرام رشد تعز به أولياءك وتذل به أعداءك يا رب العالمين. اللهم دبر لسوريا وأهل سوريا ومصر وأهل مصر وليبيا وأهل ليبيا وتونس وأهل تونس والعراق وأهل العراق وفلسطين وأهل فلسطين واليمن وأهل اليمن والبحرين وأهل البحرين وكل بلاد المسلمين يا رب العالمين. دبر لنا ويسر لنا أمورنا وألهمنا رشدنا وسدد على طريق الخير خطانا. اللهم وفق قادتنا وبارك أخوتنا واغفر لنا زلاتنا واستر عوراتنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. عباد الله اذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم وأقيموا الصلاة.